It has now been 1 year since I installed this Interior Innovations leather kit, so I think it's a good time to do a customer review. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, amici. This will be the last TueZday Garage video for 2018. I'm going home to Hawaii for the holidays to be with my family who I haven't seen in over 6 months, so totally thrilled about that. I want to take some time to go ahead and do a 1-year review on the Interior Innovations leather kit. It's been 1 year in December since I installed the kit. In that time, I have put just over 6,000 miles on the car. In the first 6 months, I only put 1,000 miles, and in the last 6 months, I've put almost 6,000 more miles on it. Man, we are almost to 7,000 miles on this swap altogether. Being 1 year into it, it's a great time to do a review on the leather and kind of see how it's holding up. I know when I was trying to make my choice about how I wanted to do my interior, I was flip-flopping back and forth between doing aftermarket seats or just doing leather kit, and some of the questions that aren't really answered out there is the longevity of the leather kit. In addition to that, it just so happens that the video that I installed this leather seat kit is the most popular video on my channel, which I don't know why, but I'm guessing it's for the leather. I'm guessing. Hopefully this will be just as popular and informative, because that's really what it's all about, to help you be a good informed consumer in deciding whether or not you want to have this kit. So without any further ado, let's talk about what I installed, the process of installing it, some things that I did to be successful in the installation, and give my impressions of the 1-year review. All right, first off, it's kind of bright out here and I don't want to be all squinty, so I'm gonna put on the shades, man. I bought a couple different pieces. It's a 2+2, so I got the front seats and the rear seats. I think all in all, that was about 650 bucks, and that was without any additional embroidered logos. It was just the leather with the red stitching. I really wanted to do black and red because I already knew I was gonna do black car, red engine, red brakes, black and red floor mats. The 99 spec center panel is black and red. Having the black and red seats just kind of like created that overall tied together vibe for the car. I also swapped the armrests out with the new Interior Innovations leather kit. I did the center console, the shift boot, and the e-brake bag, and I went ahead and did their steering wheel. Those are the components that I installed, so let's first talk about the seats. So the seat installation was pretty straightforward. If you remember, I said that basically I spent the entire weekend watching Stranger Things and just installing the leather seats. If you've never done the seats before, you'll notice that once you start taking them apart, all the leather is held to the frame and springs and all that stuff of the seat by these metal clip ring things, and they could be real tedious to take apart and take off. And in all the old leather are these little metal like rods about the thickness of a coat hanger, and you have to reuse all those metal rods in the new seat covering, and that is what you tie those metal clips around, so that way you're not directly stretching on the leather or using the leather as an anchor to anchor it to the seat frame. When I installed the new leather, I did not use the metal rings over again. I actually went out and bought some really thick industrial strength zip ties, so that way I could put it through the new seat fabric, get it around the frame, get everything in place, and then slowly go and like zip up all those zip ties to like really cinch everything down the way it needed to be. And that made the installation freaking amazingly simple. If you're doing seats on your own, I highly recommend super strength zip ties, man. Don't cheap out on them, because the last thing you want is for those things to be coming apart. Doing that method just made it really simple. Now, the backing fabric to the Interior Innovation seats is something I actually don't like, and maybe it's just by luck of the draw. What I ended up with is this white fabric that you can see right there. It's all good when the leather is in place nice and tight where you can't see it. Even though the seat skins, the new seat skins, sit amazing, there are places where sometimes that white fabric just ever so slightly pokes through, and it really stands out in a black leather, black interior car. Had they gone with black fabric, that would have been so much better. So Interior Innovations, just my suggestion, don't use white fabric. I think that's kind of anything but white, man. Gray, dark gray, black would have been a much better choice for the black leather, in my opinion. The fitment of the leather was fine. It stretched exactly like it needed to stretch. If you remember seeing pictures of the seats when I first finished them, the leather was a little loose and wavy on it, and I was a little kind of scared about that. I was a little nervous that the leather's a little loose in places and tight in other places, especially the back, the part that your back actually touches. That was a little loose, so I was really kind of concerned about that. But here we are a year later, and I don't even think it took a full year, but the seat skins, the leather on them, it's nice and tight. It's exactly the way it needs to be. All that wrinkling is gone. Everything's worked its way out. No abnormal or strange wrinkles have happened in the leather, so everything is good to go with the way they installed, and it really turned out amazing. Front seats, super simple, straightforward, lots of pieces. Got to get your hand in some tight places. I think it's more difficult to remove the old skin to put the new skin on. For the backing fabric, I did end up using a dental tool to like poke the hole through, and then that's when I would put the zip tie through and then cinch it all down, and yeah, it was good to go, man. Everything was good to go. For the back seats, the back seats fit really well and almost a little too tightly. If you look at the back seats now, man, you can see the leather is really tight. Not too tight, it's not starting to stretch the seams or anything like that, but definitely if you look on the top where the little nubs stick out to be able to put the seat down, I don't like the way that was designed. I don't like the way that was designed there. And then there's some areas in the back of the seat, kind of where the carpet mates to the seat, that some of that backing material is showing, and some of that backing material is also showing on the lower bucket part of the seat where it meets the seat back. Still super excited about the back seat. The fitment was great. Everything was fine. Stretch was a little bit more than in the front seats, that is for sure. And now as it's firmed up, the leather is definitely a lot tighter in the back than it was in the front. I'm not getting a lot of traffic in the back, so I'm not really worried about things. And I don't think any of the seams are going to pop. Everything was constructed really well. So yeah, it's good. All in all, seats are good. Again, the whole kit for the seats, if I remember correctly out of my brain bucket, the 2+2 set for leather with just stitching, no extra work to it, was about $650. I'm very happy with the purchase, very happy with the investment. It's definitely one of those things that people notice and it stands out about this car. It really sets it apart, man. Really sets it apart. All right, moving on to the armrests. When you purchase them, they're already completely built, ready to install. It doesn't matter if you already had armrests, if you didn't have armrests, they already came on the material with the studs that need to be put through the door and everything like that. So if you don't already have armrests, you would have to drill holes into your door card. The construction of the armrest is really, really good. They're as comfortable as stock Z32 armrests, which aren't really designed to cushion and cradle your elbow like it's a little baby. But that's not anything about interior innovations. They're awesome. They're awesome. They're functional. They look great, and it's just that extra little bit of pizzazz inside the interior. So, dude, armrests, good purchase. I can't remember how much the armrest costs. I want to say 90. I don't know. I don't remember. I have to go check it up, but I'll put that whatever it was right there. Moving on to the shift boot and the e-brake boot. I did not use the Interior Innovations boot kit. The most fiscally responsible way that I could get the center console was to buy it as part of a kit. So I bought the center console leather and it came with the boots, or it was the armrest that came with the boots or something. The boots came with another piece. And so in the original leather installation video, that's when I actually gave away the shift and e-brake boot to one of you guys. Hopefully the installation on those was awesome. If you're watching this, that would be sweet if you came up on the net and let us know how you like the kit and what it looks like installed. But I had already previously had black leather red stitch stuff installed. For the center console is a skin, unlike the armrest. So you're not just buying a brand new center console with the new leather skin already installed. It's just a leather skin. I noticed that the actual center console armrest piece itself was cracked and starting to shatter. Old age, putting weight on it, it doesn't matter, whatever. My concern was that if I removed the old leather off of that it would potentially cause the center armrest thing to fall apart. So I didn't want to do that. So I just got some super glue and I installed my armrest skin on top of the existing armrest skin. Not only did that just keep everything nice and tight, it also allowed for everything to be super smooth, super easy installation. Putting the skin on top of skin, it did make things a little bit more bulky when I tried to put the underside of the center armrest piece back together. However, it was manageable. There was no big deal about it. It all went back together. So yeah, super happy with the outcome on that. Okay, and lastly, the steering wheel, man. Anybody who's owned a Z car, you know that the top of the steering wheel, the leather starts to kind of flake off and rot and just get kind of gross, or the leather starts to split and it just looks disgusting and whatnot. So I wanted to do the steering wheel as well. I wanted it all to match and everything like that. I'm not a big fan of the aftermarket steering wheels. I know that's the rage. I know that's what everybody likes to do. I personally want my car inside and out to look like it did the day it was on the showroom floor, with little subtle hints and updates here and there, but nothing massively changed about the car. Also, I wanted to keep my airbag just, you know, for safety, because, you know, safety first, or at least second, right? It's a little pricey because you're buying the steering wheel with the new leather already attached. It didn't have any plastics on it. It didn't have the airbag on it. It didn't have anything. There's no core charge, so you can't get money back by sending them your old steering wheels. Interior innovations, I would make that recommendation. I would give people the option to get some core money back by sending them your old steering wheel. I think that would be a good idea. If I could send you my steering wheel blank back so you could use it for the next person, give me 50 bucks for it, man. And that'd be cool. So that'd be awesome. Something to think about, something to consider. As far as the steering wheel itself, I am extremely happy with the craftsmanship. Over the last year, it has held very, very well. It's not wearing out, it's not discoloring, it still feels nice and spongy and squishy. Nothing's peeling up, nothing fits weird, everything's good. It's not oddly shaped, everything about it is round, it's serviceable. The center piece, the airbag piece, did fit a little tight because of the way the leather is folded into the middle. The one thing that, it's not a big deal, but it is a thing that you see when you're driving. So a lot of aftermarket steering wheels, they have this little cool stripe right on the tippy top, the top dead center, so they easily know when they're back to center position on the steering wheel, whether it's intentional or whether it's not. The Interior Innovations has a seam at the top dead center position, so when you're driving, you know where the top dead center of the wheel is because that seam is right there. However, my seam is ever so slightly off center, even when my wheel is perfectly straight. So, you know, first world problems, dude. It's not a big deal, but it's a thing, right? It's a thing. If you're gonna have a seam, I think there's value in making sure that everything's symmetrical and it's just absolutely centered. Other than that, man, steering wheel, I don't regret the decision to buy it. It's that extra little bit of je ne sais quoi that freaking makes the car just pop inside. It really, really sets a tone and a precedent for the level of restoration in the car, man. It really does, because nobody wants that chewed up, gross steering wheel, man, because everybody's got it, right? Nobody wants it. So boys and girls, that is it. That is my Interior Innovations 1 year, 7,000 mile review. Amazing, dude. Amazing kit. The leather still smells amazing. It feels amazing. The quality of leather is great. It's soft. I haven't scratched the leather getting in and out of the car with my jeans or my pants or anything else. It's not having any kind of weird effects to being out in the sun, especially here in El Paso where it's like really freaking hot. And man, I couldn't be more happy. I think all in all, I spent roughly $900, I think. Sounds about right. I think for a good set of just front seats, you're looking at about 1,500 bucks for a pair. And there are a lot of good options out there. And if you're just looking for seats and make something functional because maybe you're drifting or maybe you're racing or maybe, you know, whatever the case is, seats may be your way to go. If you're looking for full restoration of the interior, man, these little pieces that I replaced, they really, really make the difference. I'm appreciative of the quality of their work. I'm appreciative of their product. I think their price point is acceptable and it's great for what you're getting. When you think about the quality of what you're buying and the longevity of that product, it's pennies a day, man. It's pennies a day. As long as you're taking care of it and you're not, you know, you're not being crazy, it's pennies a day. Why not, right? Why wouldn't you? Amici, that's the end of my review. I know the content has been sparse. A lot of it has to do with my time and availability. A lot of it has to do with the weather. A lot of it has to do with just constantly being a slave to my keyboard writing papers, man. So I love you guys that continue to support me and stick by. Yeah, man, this is what it's all about, dude. Just sharing experience, and I hope it helps somebody. That said, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Tanti auguri a tutti. And mele kalikimaka. Ciao a tutti, and aloha, bye-bye.